Hey all, Farmer Dre back at it. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 10,000 by the end of this year. So if you guys would do that, I would appreciate it. So it's a super gloomy, wet day outside. We got down to 32 degrees here on the farm last night. It's been raining. I'm surprised it didn't snow. It iced a little, but it's been raining for the past couple of days. I mean, I'm kind of glad because we've needed the rain. We haven't had a good heavy rain for a while. But on days like today, I mean, there's not much to do on the farm, so I'm just gonna go ahead and show you guys what we've been doing here. So I'm standing out here in our high tunnel, as you can see here, just looking over the strawberry crop here. So with strawberries, one of the questions I've been asked is, do they freeze? So a strawberry leaf can take really, really cold temperatures. The only reason we gotta watch the temperature is so the flower buds won't freeze at the crown. So with strawberries, whenever the average temperature, the average low temperature reaches 20 degrees, we're gonna go ahead and cover these up so those flower buds don't freeze. And same thing with those things in the field there. So I mean, a light frost don't hurt strawberries at all. Even a pretty heavy frost, we're only concerned about the crown inside the strawberry plant alone. So in here, I don't think I mean, if the weather stays nice, I don't think we're gonna need a row cover in here at all. Maybe whenever they start flowering in the spring, maybe then. But overall, these Albions, I'm guessing the Albions are just a smaller plant to begin with. They're just not as vigorous. But these Monterey's right here, as you can see, they just been growing. I mean, they're sending out runners. The plants are looking good. We got to come through here. I mean, look at that. There's a few tomato plants growing through there, a few weeds, and look at all these flower buds. So these are day neutral varieties. So since they're day neutral, we got to come through here and rip out all the flower buds, so that all the energy and stuff goes straight to the plant instead of trying to develop a crop. These plants are too small to produce as a crop right now. So if you guys haven't watched my other videos and you guys know about the day neutrals versus the June bearing varieties, go ahead and check that out, and I kind of explain that a little. And then we have some June bearing varieties in here. So we got a new variety, early variety called Rocco, and they've been growing nicely. And then right here we transition to Chandler. So then the rest of this tunnel here is Chandler, and same thing with the end of those rows there. So like I mentioned in my other videos, I have never grown high tunnel strawberries before, but live and learn, trying to make up for our loss in here with the tomato crop. And if it works out, then we will continue doing it. So now let's go ahead and jump in our other high tunnel, and I'll show you guys what we've been doing over there. So just an absolutely gloomy day out here. And look at all this water sitting here. It's a big mess in here. So yeah, we gotta lock the door there. So yesterday we went ahead and rolled up all the fabric here, and we never took it out of the walls because we're gonna go ahead and use this next year as well. That's a 10-year landscaping fabric, so we're gonna go ahead and use that again, and that's the center roll there. So as you can see here, I am watering or irrigating or just whatever, sprinkling the soil in here. And the reason is, I mean, once we tilled it up, as you guys can see here, it's super dry anyway, so we've got to get it wet. We're gonna go ahead and plant our cover crop in here. So the reason I am watering it, I mean, as you guys know, we use a lot of synthetic fertilizers for our tomato crop. And you know, with growing tomatoes in the ground, you don't want any salt buildup to get built up over, you know, in the years to come. So with this, I'm gonna go ahead and let that run for a couple of hours here to kind of drain that upper level of the soil profile, so we will never have any salt buildup. So the goal and the idea behind that is, after we get done with once all the soil is watered nicely, then we're going to go ahead and plant our cover crop. And I'm going to use a few different ones. So since we don't grow anything productively in here over the winter, I do want to grow stuff for us. So I'm going to plant some spinach, some lettuce, some kale, and just kind of broadcast the seed. And then the rest of it, I'm going to plant in some either annual rye. I do have some hairy vetch and some white clover. I'm not sure what I'm going to plant yet, but the goal in here over the winter is just to have something growing, some type of green manure, so they could go ahead and throw it back into the soil. So the reason we want to do that is we're trying to get high yielding tomatoes in here, and we've been doing that year after year. But now we're at that stage where, you know, it's not the honeymoon stage anymore. Now if you don't do stuff to prevent it, you're going to have other disease problems in the soil, like nematodes and other bacterial diseases that could be stuck in the soil. And like I said earlier, we do use quite a bit of fertilizers in here, and we don't want any of that salt buildup. So it's just, you gotta stay precaution. I mean, you gotta stay on top of things, because once your soil becomes saltinized or something, there's a certain term for it, then it will not absorb water anymore. And I have seen other farms and other greenhouses and high tunnels where after, you know, 7 to 10 years of growing tomatoes in the soil on a very strict fertilizer program, then that soil doesn't absorb water anymore. It's hydrophobic, and the soil's gone to waste. So then they got to start growing hydroponic systems, and those systems work out well. But with growing tomatoes, you guys know the best flavor and taste comes in whenever you grow things in the soil. So that's the whole idea and plan behind this. So once this is all done, I'm gonna go ahead and sow our cover crop in here and irrigate it one more time. And then this is the only form of irrigation we're gonna go ahead and use for our cover crop, since I don't wanna pull the drip system anymore. And like I said, we're not growing anything for profit in here over the winter, just trying to maintain the soil and try to keep the soil biology going. And we might go through here and add our turkey manure and our compost just to get that ahead of time for next year's tomato crop. But like I said, we're just trying to go ahead and drain that soil profile to keep the soil nice and healthy, so they can go ahead and get a healthy tomato crop out of this tunnel. So I had the boys come in here yesterday and pick up rocks, but the only issue of doing this is all the rocks get washed off and we gotta come pick up rocks again. And for the ones that are in Southwest Missouri, you guys know that there's rocks everywhere. You can't stop that issue. So over the years, I think we picked 3 or 4 dump truckloads of rock out of here. I remember our first year we spent days on end picking up rocks out of here, and even last year we picked up quite a bit. And yesterday the boys picked up quite a bit, but it's part of it. And the thing about the rocks, they actually help out with soil drainage and stuff, but the only thing that it hurts on is the implements and the equipment. And the tiller, if you're not careful, you'll ruin a rotor tiller pretty quick if you have too much rock in the soil and it's just constantly hitting the rock there. So water. So since the soil hasn't been irrigated in quite some time, the first few inches are water, and then look at that, underneath it's still fairly dry. So it's got to be, the sprinkler's got to be on for quite some time to get the whole entire soil profile soaked, and just keep that going. But it gets really muddy and messy in here pretty quick if you're not careful. So we're gonna have to let it dry for a couple days and then throw our cover crop and then re-irrigate to get that cover crop going nicely. But one thing I'm kind of sad that the tomato season's over, but I don't know, there's something you feel accomplished whenever you see a high tunnel cleaned out, nice, ready to go. And I don't know, it's just a good sense of accomplishment, I'm guessing. But overall, it's been a good year, a busy year, and now we got the strawberries going in there. Season will start a lot sooner. We just ordered a bunch of trees, apple trees, for planting in 2021. So I don't know. I just keep creating myself more and more work. So I'm not sure if that's a good idea or not. But hey, that's part of it. Part of being a farmer. Keep on expanding, keep on growing, and just keep it moving. So one thing we've been doing for the past couple of days is cleaning up the shops in the areas and just trying to keep them maintained. Moses in here, he's cleaning off a few buckets, and this time of year is not really fun. The only downside of it is I'm not a really big fan of filming whenever we're cleaning up, because everybody has so much stuff to clean up that it gets kind of boring after a while because they're just putting stuff away. That's what we've been doing here on the farm, just keeping it going, keeping it moving. Everything's going towards dormancy. The apple trees, the leaves will be falling off here pretty quick. Got to clean out the greenhouse, and that time of year where everything starts slowing down pretty heavily, and just trying to keep everything going, take a little breaks. I can sleep in now, so it's quite nice. So this is gonna be pretty much it for today, just a little farm update video kind of deal, and not too much going on here on the farm. But I want to say, if you guys haven't already, go and hit that subscribe button, go and smash that like button if you guys haven't already. Go ahead and hit that notification icon so you guys can be notified whenever I do upload a video. I want to say thanks for watching up to this point. You guys have a good day. We'll see you next time.